Triple Shot Mindset.
What do you guys think of the word trust?
I was going to say something.
Ooh.
Whoever invented us, made us, right?
Yep.
Why didn't they make detachable teeth? Now, I know as a kid, you have detachable teeth. As an adult, you should get like 2 goes at it.
I agree, actually.
So if you listen to some of the things that are being censored on YouTube from 20, 30 years ago.
Detachable teeth.
YouTube
No,
existed 20 or 30 years ago?
No. Videos from 20, 30 years ago that people have uploaded to YouTube. There are these people, scientists, doctors, who talk about every bone in your body regenerates. But if you break a bone,
Yes.
like if you have, and teeth have the same ability to repair themselves.
Really?
I hate to break it to your conspiracy mind, but Japanese scientists are in the works of releasing a prescription medication that regenerates your teeth.
Yeah.
So it's
But
not a
the
conspiracy.
body,
It's
but
not.
when they say the chiropractic community that I've been part of for so many years,
Them.
the power that made the body heals the body. There are people, evidence-based theories and things that show that every bone in the body, if you break it, it'll heal, right?
That makes sense.
In certain animals, it reheals, except in people. Now they're saying whether you're putting fluoride on it or other things that are prohibiting its.
Mints?
Are you telling me that in the 1400s, when people had no teeth,
There's a gum disease. Gum disease makes your teeth fall out.
so how come the body doesn't like fix itself?
No, gum disease is different than cavities in the teeth.
People had broken teeth, dude. Remember
Yeah,
Oliver
broken
Twist?
But I like where your head is at.
Change this topic,
So back to
right?
trust.
Okay, so I was listening to this guy on Insta Reels, and he had a great point. He said, for love to be there, for love to sustain a relationship, there has to be trust as well. You can't just have love and be distrustful of one another.
Wow. Relationship 101. This guy must be something.
But you know,
Why are you putting people down?
a lot
man?
of people, this is the basics, you're right. But a lot of people take that for granted. They ruin trust really quickly within the relationship in small micro ways.
And so he was talking about how, let's say, if he's too trustworthy, if he tells everything to his wife because he wants to be trustworthy and for her to trust him, there's a point that she will start taking that trust for granted and she will start controlling him. Okay? Because you only control something that you want to be able to trust. Like if you are an untrustworthy person, she tries to control you to a point that she can trust the outcome of you and your activities every day. Like, oh, don't go here, don't go there, eat this, eat that. Because that way she can control and feel trust for you. If you are too trusting from the beginning, you're going to start...
Too honest.
You're right. You're going to start resenting that you're very honest and it's being taken advantage of.
Are you telling me whether you are not honest at all and honest, you can't win?
I'm saying you have to have trust both ways. But don't let the person control you because you're trying to control the outcome of you.
So you mentioned 2 cases.
Well, you go extremes like everything else.
No. I'm saying you said if you are too honest, somebody will control
Don't
you.
be too honest. Don't share information that's
So
not
then
to
you
be
have
shared.
to be dishonest.
No, that's not dishonesty. Dishonesty is like, let's say you want to tell your wife about your day. Hey, I had a great day. 3 customers came, all 3, cha-ching, right? That's a trustworthy conversation. If you go, and also I went to the bathroom twice, and maybe I didn't answer my phone 2 times because I was farting at that point, and I didn't want, like, that is too much information that creates doubt in the person hearing your story.
How does it create doubt? And
Because
why? Why would it create doubt?
Because the next time you don't share every single thought, body function, and everything else with your wife, she's going to think you're hiding something from her. And to her, that's distrust. So the fact that people share information is great. You got to share with your significant other your thoughts, feelings, certain big things that happen at work or about your day. But I think if you go a step further to just feed into someone's insecurities and like feed them more information that normal people wouldn't really share, then that becomes a cause for concern, because now she expects you to share more. Her distrust of you goes higher the more you share. So you got to understand where to cut it and where to maintain it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So you will be honest regardless, but you will not share too much information.
You
I
gotta
think,
be
I think
honest.
what you said in the beginning threw me off, because you said if you trust too much or if you're too trustworthy, nobody will try to control you. And then the other opposite end as well. So what you're saying is it's not the trust factor. You got to be honest regardless, but don't be sharing too much. Yeah?
I think honesty and trust are two different things, right? They can live within each other's wheelhouse.
Explain that, because I don't know what that means.
Honesty is you being honest with your feelings, with your events. You know, you want to tell someone about your day, you got to be honest about it, right? If you choose to share it, you got to be honest about it. You can't share something and be dishonest about it, right? You build trust with the other person by being transparent. So the other person hearing your story is going to feel that she trusts you because you are saying the truth, because you are being, in alignment with your whatever. My point is, if you're not trustworthy in the beginning, let's say you lie to her a lot, she has a right to start controlling you. Where'd you go? Eat this. Why'd you have to go with your friends? Stay home. Do this, do that, just to make sure that she, in her head, can trust you. That's why I said, if you are untrustworthy in the beginning, if you're not being honest with her, she has a right to be controlling. And you can be controlling to her. But at one point, once that trust is built and you both trust each other, don't go overboard. Because now you're going to open up another new can of worms.
You know what the problem is? In my opinion, is people start a relationship doubting whether the other person is honest. And they have their walls up until they prove otherwise. Why doesn't it work the other way around?
Because you can. In today's society, if you go on these dating apps, that, by the way, I'm no longer part of.
They're all dead?
They're all dead.
What about when they send you the email that says, you have...
I went through and I unsubscribed.
Good job.
I unsubscribed from Hinge, from Bumble. And there's another one for married, for single parents.
Swingers.com.
And also the one that said, I don't want to hear this shit anymore, right? There's so much distrust. So many people playing each other. And the fakeness of people out there, it's just ridiculous. So, be honest, and the right person will be attracted to that, to your truth. And that's why when you did a reading for my birthday, one of the things I took out of it, one minute of many, was I got to be authentic to this person, this personality, this kid inside a 50-year-old's body.
51.
Hey!
Bleep that out.
That's why it was a birthday reading, bro.
We go back.
Right. So, lost a train of thought.
No, you got to be honest to this authentic kid that's in this 51-year-old body.
So I realized
Well
when
said.
when I go out with certain women, and I'm pretending that I'm one of the rich and famous guys that they're used to, I am being looked at differently than when I'm myself. When I'm myself, the right people would put their guards down. The right people will be attracted to you. The right people will reach out to you. Versus this little thing that I had created because I wanted to be competing for certain people's attention. And I thought to myself, that's so inauthentically unjust to me. To have to put on an act, not be the authentic self that I have to be, just to attract someone who's not meant for me.
Do you know why?
Tell me why.
Because when you describe the perfect woman to me,
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Yeah,
Yes.
say.
Right.
Ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
tell me why.
I never wanna hear you say
Hey.
I want it that,
that way.
Dang, 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 dang.
Okay, tell me why.
When you're describing,
I'm surprised you still remember this.
I know. Our ADHD kicked in, but yours didn't.
when you're describing in the beginning of this journey, the perfect woman you're looking for, it's so interesting that you started with qualities that were not aligned with the brother I know. You were trying to attract people that I knew deep down, this is not my brother. And despite us having several arguments, you convinced me otherwise.
Physical altercations, by the way.
Physical
altercations.
Did I witness those? I don't think I saw physical
No,
altercations.
No.
there was no physical.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And as time went on, and you did try your hand at those women, then what happened? You realized, wait a second, I'm supposed to be who I'm supposed to be. I like who I like. I cannot fake it into thinking, oh, no, that's the kind of group I want to be a part of. I saw that happen to you. You were fighting tooth and nail to say, no. She has to be this, she has to be this, she has to be this. And all this time I argued with you. And guess what? Today where you sit right now,
In a chair.
in the chair, you have actually said no to those people and have said yes to the kind of people that I said from the beginning you should be talking to.
Don't say the K word. Don't say it.
Korean?
Kind.
Kind. Oh, kind.
Kind. Remember in the beginning, you remember this
Viv.
really well.
Very viv.
Kindness was third or fourth on his list. To me,
Oh,
that
was it on the list?
What was on the list?
Oh, she has
Ambitious.
to be go-getter,
Intellectual.
ambitious. She has to.
I still like that. That has to be on the list.
But you know what? Just to what you said, that a relationship needs love and trust. It doesn't need somebody to, I don't know, do stock exchange 4 a.m. and then go to the Pilates class. You need somebody that's just kind, man. Just a regular person, a kind person. It starts with kindness.
Okay, kindness is now in the top 3, right? I agree. Kindness has
I
to be
think
in
it should be top
3.
1. Top 1.
Top
yeah.
one.
Top 3, right? Let's say kindness is top 3.
What are 1 and 2?
Yeah.
I think still ambition and smarts are...
No.
To you, nope.
No, you make yourself think that. You keep making yourself think that.
No, I
at the
think
end
that's
of the
really
day,
important.
ambition will not come and feed you your soup while you're dying. Ambition will not come and
See, that's the thing.
sit with
If
you
she doesn't
at
have
night
ambition, you're right. If she doesn't have ambition, she'll feed me soup before I die. If she has ambition, she'll give me a T-bone steak on a cruise ship somewhere.
No.
She'll hire someone to feed her.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say she's gonna hire somebody to feed you your soup.
Kindness is top 3. I agree.
Should be in your number
But you
one
gotta have
slots.
ambition and you gotta have smarts. Because the last thing I want,
I think what you're
the
doing,
last thing
I think you're
want.
mistaking personal attributes with a different set of attributes that now once you have a kind person, now you want them to be this and that. You cannot start with an ambitious person and then say, okay, that's all I want. And now she has to be also kind and stuff. Kindness should be first, bro. 100%.
Man, what are you hitting for her for?
To
It's
agree
an
with.
agreement moment.
Okay, so that in your world, 100% I agree. For you,
How about
that
your
would
world?
Be great.
Oh my gosh. I was just watching the
Top
show.
3.
I was
First,
just-
go top 3.
Let me give you some context.
three.
Context.
Context. All right. I was watching this show called Jury Duty. It is on either HBO Max or Hulu. I don't know. I don't keep track of this shit. We just have one Google account that has all the little. So anyway,
Icons, no.
we were watching Jury Duty. And Jury Duty is a brand new show that came out in 2022, I believe. And this is how it was done. They put out a Craigslist ad and asked if there would anyone who would like to serve jury duty elect to be part of the jurors'
Pool.
cabinet.
Jury pool.
Yeah, the jury pool, to help film a documentary about what it's like to be on a jury. And they got a guy. So the guy came in, but what he didn't realize, it was a reality TV show, and it's a bunch of actors pretending to be jurors and a judge and security, and they put him through all these weird situations to see what he'll do. And throughout the show, which is only like 7 episodes and each one's only 30 minutes, the guy who doesn't realize he's being filmed, there are hidden cameras in every room, like behind bookshelves and mirrors, and a few rooms down, they've constructed this entire set to make it a courthouse. The director, producer, and all the writers are like, okay, if he does A, then they know they need to do B and C. And it's like trying to get this guy to just, I don't know, put him in weird situations. And every single time, he is kind. This is his like number one trait. In addition to being charming and smart, the dude is a kind guy. And at the very end of the show, when they do the whole walkthrough and show the behind the scenes, they do a quick reel of all the times that he was kind during the show when he didn't know that anyone was watching. He was having like private conversations with people. They pitting him against other jurors, talking behind other jurors' backs, try to like loop him into some kind of bullshit. And when I watched that finale and they went over all those 10 moments, like highlight reel, I cried because I was like, this is a comedy show. It's hilarious and weird. And yet they found this perfectly normal person who, when put in a tight spot, every single time had integrity and kindness.
Right.
And it made me emotional. It reminded me that that is the number one trait. The only trait that matters in this world is someone who cares. That like reinforced it for me 110%.
So, and I think for you, I think you think of kindness as if somebody is kind, they cannot be this, they cannot be that. You peg a kind person as, for example, not
a weak
ambitious
person.
Or weak. But you know what? You can be kind and you can be ambitious too. You can be kind and you can be super smart too.
The reason I put those top three, there's no particular order.
Well, give it an order right now.
There's
You
no
can.
hierarchy?
You can, because for me, it's like you can't say, do you like your mom better or your dad, for example, right?
I'll say mom.
Okay, let's switch the top. Let's say, do you like ding?
You can't even come up with anything.
What's that restaurant you're gonna go to?
Din Tai Fung.
Din Tai Fung, the Chinese restaurant, or
Pho.
somewhere in Pho, right?
I won't pick Din Tai Fung, bro. You have no point. What I'm saying.
I do. I think we cannot, as a society, we just want to make sure like things are numbered and correctly ordered. And no, in the world of spirituality, there's nothing that like
What
says,
is love? You in the beginning you started with love.
baby, don't hurt me. Don't
hurt me.
No more. Baby, don't
Hurt me. In
To
the
me,
beginning you said love. You were talking about love. Love
I was
only
talking
comes
about
from
trust. I said trust has to,
I don't talk about love too.
I said love is great, but for it to sustain between a couple of people, you gotta have trust.
So I'm trying to go backwards.
We're not talking about love between you and your dog, or love between a kid or your parents. We're talking about love between two individuals who need to trust each other and base it on trust.
If you're a kind person, you have a kind heart,
No.
you will love, you will give, you will trust, all those things.
But that could be stupid if you just trust blindly. You gotta have some kind of thing to gauge yourself against. You can't just be, oh, I'm kind, therefore I'm stupid. See, that's what I'm talking about.
There is the root of the
That's the
issue.
problem.
You
He thinks-
associate kindness with stupidity. Now, where do you
Because
think that
he
comes
said-
from? Let's
because he says-
psychoanalyze that.
Yeah.
Where did you learn that?
Because he said, if a kind person says, I trust you blindly. No,
I never said
don't
blindly.
trust me
I said
blindly.
a kind person. In the beginning, I said one thing. I said this: when people nowadays they go in with distrust, dishonesty.
You have to.
I'm not done. My point.
What?
You have to.
My
Get back
point
to me in a
was
second.
those people will not be dishonest. They will not be untrustworthy, whatever, if they are kind. Because kindness says, I'm going to be honest from the beginning.
Kindness doesn't mean that.
Oh, it does. Does, bro. Kindness says kindness means you're gonna everything is good in the beginning until you prove otherwise. Kindness means I'm going to help somebody. Kindness means I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I give you the benefit of the doubt.
That's kindness, dude. Kindness is having a good heart to begin with.
And it doesn't mean being nice, by the way. Kindness and niceness are two vastly different things.
So you could be kind. By the way, what was that thing I said and you rolled your eyes at a minute ago? Don't remember.
Probably stupidity and kindness. You were like, you equated them.
So in my life, okay, if I base everything on people's kindness, that means I'm stupid, right? And I'll tell you why.
Please.
I'll tell you why.
I'm dying for this answer.
Okay, because if I'm too kind and I trust without any, track record of someone having to prove to me that they're trustworthy, then I come out as like an idiot, right? I've had people in the past that either friends or girlfriends or people I've dated or even clients who I'm too kind to, and they take advantage of it because they think that I'm stupid, right? And I think at one point, kind people, if they're just too kind and you're just relying on the kindness to be your whole bag of tricks, at one point, A, you're going to be extremely boring. B, people can pull the wool over your head. And C, like, you're going to sound stupid because, like, why would you just trust? You were just telling me about a Japanese businessman who goes out on trips for 6 months, pretends he doesn't have cell phone reception, and the wife is like, oh, he's just on a trip. Oh, he just must be busy. If you're too kind and trustworthy, people will step all over you.
So here's what I said before you go, ma'am. I said you pair kindness with all these other things.
That's why I said top three, they got to be together. You got to have kindness, you got to have intellect, and you got to have...
Does intellect get you love?
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It sure does.
Okay, only in your world, buddy. Go ahead.
We got to go to the flow charts for this one. So there's a difference between nice and kind. And in my humble opinion, you are talking about a nice guy who will get fucking mutilated by this world. Forgive my lang. Squash. Nice guys just go along to get along. They give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Fuck that shit. I'm talking about kindness, and I see kindness completely differently. I see kindness as someone who is first kind to themselves. And a person who is kind to themselves will not let themselves get run over by other people. They will say, you're treating me not up to my standard. A nice guy would be like, but I don't care because I just want to get attention and I just don't want to be ignored and in the corner. But a kind person will be like, in order to be kind to myself, I'm going to remove myself from the situation. It's also going to be kind to you because it's going to teach you a goddamn lesson. Bye. And then...
I 100% agree with you. Nice. I'm not saying being too nice. Kindness, like you said, is not being nice.
No.
It's having kindness and a kind heart. A kind heart can love. A kind heart can take care of you. A kind heart can do
That
a lot
they can.
of
And it can
things.
cut shit out.
That they can.
A
That they
surgeon is
can.
kind. And a surgeon is cutting into your body to remove a tumor.
Yeah.
A nice person is just like, you look good with a tumor. Big difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do agree that a kind person would love you and take care of you and yada, yada, yada.
And tell you when you're full of shit.
Not all the time. That's why I think if you have intellect, if you have ambition, and you have kindness, that would be the pinnacle of this whole thing for me. I would say if a woman came to me and said, oh, I'm very kind, that was her selling point, I'd say, that's great, let's talk. But if 2 dates into it, she's like, yeah, I don't know, Joe Biden, who's Joe Biden?
I'm
And
worried
I
about
think-
how much you associate kindness with stupidity.
Yeah.
That concerns me.
No, I didn't say that. I said,
The way you made her sound right now is like a stupid idiot.
Oh, I
I
don't
said
know.
if she has,
Joe
if she is
Biden?
kind, I'll go out with her. I'll give her time of day.
But if you
because
find out
kind.
she's an idiot, you'll
But if I find out she's an idiot, but maybe she's not an idiot because she
wait.
also has intellect.
So now, okay, to your point, you find something that's intellectual. You're like, okay, let's go out.
No, I didn't say that. I
no.
said that's not how
We're
it works.
flipping the
We're
scenario
flipping.
to see which one's more of a
You
non-negotiable.
said I find a kind woman. I go out with them 2 days in. They don't know who Joe Biden is, and you're like, okay, you're out.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. You find an intellectual person. You go out with them after 2 days. They don't give a fuck about you.
Of course, they will be out again. Or if I go out with a kind person and intellectual on the phone, and then we go and she's like, oh, I like to flip burgers, which is nothing wrong with that. But because I am vibrating here as an entrepreneur, if someone likes to flip burgers and just like tries to, weasel out of going to her 15-hour per hour workday, then that to me doesn't vibe.
I think like Amanda said, you're associating kindness with all these sorts
I didn't
of horrible
say that. No.
values.
No, I said 3. If she has this, but not those 2, gone. That's why I said those 3 are important to me. I never associated
But in my
kindness
No, I get
means
it, I get
you
it. Okay.
flip burgers and you have no clue who Joe Biden is.
Got
Obviously,
it.
that wasn't my thing.
It was just Joe Biden.
Got
Or
it.
even if it's the other way, if she knows who Joe Biden is, but like she flips burgers and is unkind, then she's out
Do
too.
you think a kind person is more open to being truthful and honest versus an unkind person? Is a kind person with a kind heart, is she willing to be more honest and truthful with you?
Hopefully.
More respectful towards you?
Hopefully. I can't generalize. I can't generalize.
As an intellect that you are. My
I'm
head,
also kind. I'm also
my head, my brain tells me somebody that is kind will be all around. You'll have an easier time with them because they're thinking with their heart. Somebody that is not kind, their heart, heart.
Yes.
Oh, so heart is bad.
No, I never said that. That's why I said
So
the
what's your
3 are important, right? To you, if someone's kind, like if it's like a dog who's kind, like okay, let's marry.
Well, the
me,
dog has to be running a company, Fortune 500, for you to love the
That's
dog.
why I don't love dogs. Here's the thing. I mean, I love dogs, but I don't want to marry them.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, to you, kindness is be all, end all, whatever the heck the term is. I don't
End
know.
all, be all.
Whatever, right? To you, that's the case. To some people, oh, he's got to be rich and I'll date him, right? That's their only thing.
It is not my only thing, bro.
That's why.
It is not my only thing.
stand
Yeah, for
up
him, it's
what I
kind
said.
It's a
and
starting
hot.
point. Starting
It's like
point.
his Achilles tendon here.
Starting
Kind
point.
and hot. You just don't happen to agree on his.
Can I say
Taste
something?
in
Taste.
women. Yeah.
Kindness would be the start.
No.
From there, you find out all these
Yeah.
good things or bad things
But
about
you're
them.
gonna find out someone's kindness level after the second date. You go out to a restaurant, they're mean to the wait staff.
I
go
don't think
out-
you can find anyone's character. That's niceness, not kindness. I think
kindness. You can be kind to the wait staff.
people
You
can be
ha-
nice to the wait staff, but I don't
That's why I
think
say you can be kind to them.
nice and kind are not the same thing.
Of course they're not, but they can be kind to them. Can be kind to the homeless person on the street. They can be kind in offering, oh, let's do what do you want to do
But
today?
I don't think kind is an action like that, like being friendly to the wait staff, like here's extra tip. I don't think that's kind. I think that's friendly. That's nice. That's like an act. But I think to find the substance of kindness would take a lot longer than 2 dates.
It would. It probably would. But I'm saying Kevin, for example, and I remember this. We were driving up to San Francisco, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Before
I
you
wasn't born.
Before you met your wife.
I was not born.
Before you met your wife, right? So let's just put everything out there. Like the timelines have to be correct. Before you met your wife, we were going out to San Francisco. And there was a woman friend that Kevin was attracted to because she was kind. Okay. There was a woman friend that Kevin wanted to spend so much time and energy around. And I kept on saying, Kevin, like, why? Like, she's not your type. She's like, I don't care about da-da-da. Kindness is all that matters to me, right? A few years later, still not with his wife, he met another woman, and she was just like evil, not evil eye, but she just looked evil, like, and I'm like, Kevin, that's not the type of person you like. He's like, but she's kind, right?
No.
I think, yep. Yeah, don't let me say the rest of the story. Don't let me say the rest of the story. But here's what happened. He gets sucked into with kindness, and he stays there. And he gets blinded by kindness, right? And when people ask him, why are you attracted to this person? He's like, oh, because they're kind to me. My mom's brother, which shall remain nameless.
My God, can I interject?
No.
It's not because she's kind to me.
She's
It's because
kind.
she's a kind person.
But that is all it takes, right? She could be living in her car.
No, it doesn't.
But she's
no,
kind.
No, it doesn't. as I stated, kindness is what opens the door, and you realize, wow, that person has a good soul. Now let me see what else they have that I like.
Right.
That's it. It's not the end all, be all, end all.
End all be all.
End all, be all.
Oh, did I say it
It's
right
not.
too?
No, you said be all end all, but that's okay.
Whatever.
It's
Whatever,
not-
bro.
Whatever.
I'm saying you are mispegging me. Miss Piggy. You're miss.
By the way, have you
pegging.
seen those dogs like with the long snout? He goes, "I will do it for you," or "Let me do it for you."
No, but you told me that some friend.
And finally, at the end, he says, "Kermie," right? And I had no idea what that means.
Dude, that's
Oh,
not
it's Kermit?
important.
It's Kermit. Yeah, it's Kermit.
This is not important.
Yeah, sorry, we're ADHDing it.
I was just saying, and please put on your listening ears. Okay? There are two kinds of people in this world: a good soul and a bad soul. The bad soul will rape you, do every horrible thing to you, and not feel sorry about it. The good soul will do things for you to uplift you, make your life better, care about you,
Right.
do good things. I'm not saying this is the only thing that matters in life.
Okay.
It's not.
Great.
However, when you are on those, you were on those dating sites, I
Right.
would have much rather you swipe right. Is means right for me, right? Right? Swipe
Right is good.
Yes.
Right is good.
I'd much rather at that point you swipe right on somebody that you could see.
But you can't see kindness in a freaking picture.
From their descriptives, dude.
You know,
I
Chat-
like cats. I
ChatGPT.
like dogs. I like to go on the beach and look at the sunset.
All right.
Versus, I'm doing this. I'm going hunting and I'm doing my Pilates between
Okay.
my stock exchange.
As I started this conversation out 30 minutes ago,
Trust.
I say, Kevin, you don't have to be at either end of the spectrum, right? There's gray areas. When you say there's two kinds of people in this world, people who say, thank you, I want to take off your feet and massage it, or people who will rape you.
Yeah,
No.
that was a little bit extreme.
Right. There are like 20 different types of personalities in between,
Yeah.
right?
Does a kind person go kill people?
That's one type of. Actually,
Maybe they
if-
do, and then they feel bad about it. Jeffrey Dahmer actually became a very righteous
You
Christian.
think it was a
in
kind
prison.
person?
In
Because
prison,
kindness
he reformed.
doesn't
After the fact.
Well,
After the
kindness
fact.
doesn't mean psychologically you're balanced. As a matter of fact, a lot
Preacher.
of imbalanced people are kind. That's our first thing. Like, oh, he was such a kind person. We don't know why he shot up the school. That's what I'm talking
Those
about.
were the crazy quiet people who played video games in the basement, dude.
All I'm
Is
saying is,
nice guy is not kind guy.
that, that needs to be understood.
kindness is one aspect, right? If we talk to them and intellectually they're checked out, doesn't matter how nice they are, how kind they are, how many times
No,
they
he's just saying
put my
that's what I
shoes on.
said.
All he's
It's a
saying is
door.
that kindness should be
The
the,
door entry
non-negotiable
point.
foundation for every single person you date.
No.
That's his point.
If they're dumb as a rock, dump their
goodbye.
ass, dude.
But you're saying that intellectual.
Those three things have to be there for it to continue.
But-
Put one number one.
But one
There's
only.
no number one.
Okay, that's it.
There's no number one in my book. Like if you have
Baloney.
ask mom who she
Baloney.
likes more. Obviously it's you. But ask mom
That's true.
which one does she like more. She's like, oh, both of you are equal to me because
You mean
twins.
these qualities are all equal?
You just disproved your own point
No, I
because you said
didn't.
secretly mom is hiding the fact that she does have a preference.
Yes, mom does
So
have
then
a preference.
secretly
You
you're
secretly
hiding
are
the fact that
holding
you
your-
have a
yes.
preference. Wow.
No,
Wow.
I said ask anyone. They're not gonna have. They're gonna have preferences. But
Wait a second.
for me,
Wait. Let's use last night the comedian, I think her name was Jackie Fabulous, was saying that there are 3 non-negotiables in men. Now she wanted to say some very superficial, crazy shit to get laughs, but she did make it sound like a couple could pass as long as they just had one. So now let's do the same thing, but like with physical traits.
a couple could pass.
Like meaning, okay, she says 3 non-negotiables, but she could let a couple go as long as they have like
Yeah,
one
kindness
major
and
one.
intellect.
I said one major one.
Can't.
Okay.
Because we can't, like, this is not how real life scenarios work. Like, we can't say, oh, you only get one chocolate chip or.
Well, no, I'm not saying like you have to date the person who is kind. I'm saying like you meet somebody and secretly you're trying to figure out if they're kind and intellectual because those are your 2 non-negotiables. Let's say you figure out that they're intellectual and you're like, ding, green light, but you can't tell whether they're kind or not. Do you go on another date with them or not?
Yeah.
Okay. How many dates will you go until you figure out whether they're kind or
Until
not?
they show themselves. Like if I have to go out with someone for 5-10 times and finally they come out and say, you know what, I just kicked my dog because like she was barking too much. I'm like, oh God.
Now, same question. You find out they're kind immediately, first date,
Yeah.
but they're not showing that they're intellectual. How many dates will you give them?
As many as I'm gonna have to bring up conversations or scenarios to see how she
and what if
thinks.
they keep showing you that they're dumb as a log in a stump?
Out.
Okay, so intellectual is the number one because you'll give more chances for them to prove that they're kind on and on and on and on. But as soon as you find out they're dumb, you're like, bye-bye.
And to me, dumb doesn't mean like you don't know like who Joe Biden is.
I know.
To me, it means you have to be able to have something going in your head besides a hamster wheel, right? So if I go out with someone and like they're just talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County
Yeah.
or things that are like very superficial, I'm like, she could be the kindest person in the world, but if this is all we got to work with, sorry, I'm out.
Yeah, so intellectual is number
In
one.
my opinion, there are some traits that are of the heart and some traits of the mind. I believe intellectual, obviously, is a mind thing. Ambitious is a mind thing. You're like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. The heart is different. And I believe that's where you're mistaken because you believe all the head and heart are all the same.
I think
As a
no,
starting point. I am
no.
talking about a starting point.
One of them is a heart thing, one of them is head thing, one of them is a soul thing. I think
Wait,
soul-wise.
which one's a soul thing?
Well, you gotta decide on which one because I'm just gonna give you the three scenarios, right? The intellect is obviously right here. Kindness could be your kind heart or your kind spirit, right? And what was the third one?
Ambition.
Ambition. So that's finding your purpose, right? If your purpose, if maybe you're following your soul's journey, you're giving, weight into that. To me, that's a perfect combination of mind, body, and soul, right? Or intellect. If someone is just like, oh, I'm kind, I want to flip burgers. I don't care about my purpose. My purpose is to make cookies and give it to you and, hump you. That would not be a purposeful life.
I am
To
sorry.
you.
I am sorry that every time you mention kindness, it becomes a burger flipper. Whereas an
No,
ambitious
I said
burger.
if. I said if she's kind, but she's a burger flipper. See, there's two different
Okay,
things.
how about if she is intellectual? She reads all these books, but she's flipping burgers.
Doesn't work for me.
What if
What-
she's a student working on her PhD, but the only way to afford it is
Works
to
for
be
me. Works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's a student.
Yeah.
She's trying to put herself through college. She's trying to put herself through a master's program.
If there was one quality, one quality, and Billy, I'm gonna spill the beans of how you've admitted to me. Yes, Kevin, you are right.
Blackmailing me.
Kindness.
No, kindness is very important.
have
now.
told me that
before it
kind
was number
people-
4 or 5 on my list. Now it's number 1, 2, or 3.
May I finish?
Yeah.
You've admitted to me, Kevin, you're absolutely right, and you even told her to. We're here together.
Just say the word absolutely. I
No.
don't use that word like
You told us. You said you are completely right.
complete.
Kindness is the way to go.
I said kindness.
remember.
I'm not going
So
against
if
that.
you have to pick one trait to open the door to finding out more, what is that one trait that opens the door to find out more? Where in your head, because of that one trait, you've assumed these things.
burger
I'm
flipper.
gonna have a good life together. No friction. It's gonna be a smooth life. There's gonna be. I can tell. There's gonna be honesty. There's gonna be mutual caring to the same level. Nobody's higher. Nobody's lower. What is that one trait that intrigues you to say, you know what? I think this is gonna be good for me. Just one trait.
So I think
One trait.
So I think your idea of a great life and a great partner is lack of waves, lack of anyone like being. No, I'm not saying you got to be superior or whatever, but lack of challenge is also like eats me alive. So kindness is great. I would like when you meet someone online or over the phone and you start speaking, you can kind of pick up on whether they're kind or a mean person, whether they are just driven by wealth or they're driven by personality. Like you get that sense and then you ask them out. If they have more kindness in them than gold digging, right? So obviously kindness, it comes through in conversations and eventually it comes out as one of those traits.
You're not answering the question. One trait that is a door opener to the rest of this. Let's continue talking with this person.
Okay. You're asking questions as if you're asking about the transgender stuff, like is it a male or a woman? In this sense, I think you pick up on these cues, like, she has to, if she's, ugly, but she's kind.
So you can answer
or
the question.
She's nice.
How about you, Amanda? What is one quality that opens the door for you? And you look for that as a non-negotiable.
And please be honest.
I will be so brutally honest with you.
Please.
And I'll even include past scenarios,
Sure.
what I've learned and where I am now. When I was first getting into the game, finding a partner, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And I can admit that freely.
Are we
and
going
openly.
back when you were
Way
19?
back to when I was 19. And I will tell you what I looked for was trouble. It was not even intentional and it was not even conscious. And I think that people who aren't in the dating game intentionally, because I wasn't, I was just, don't really think about what they're looking for. They just land where they land and then reverse engineer a whole list of their partner's green flags to give themselves peace of mind because they never bothered to suss out the sitch from the beginning. Later on, I looked for smart people. Yeah.
Okay, so intellect.
Wait.
Oh.
We're not home yet. Then I looked
She's
for
on second base.
mischievous people, the same trouble element, but with a slightly more grounded vibe. And it wasn't until my most recent run-in with the law, meaning love,
Love, yeah.
that I realized, holy fucking shit, girl, kindness is where it's at. And I'll tell you why. Because I made a lot of excuses to convince myself that this person was a kind person. And it was me projecting kindness from myself. Had I to do it all over again, if I had really identified what kindness means to me, I would have saved myself a lot of pain. Now, of course, you have to go through these things to learn them. But I will tell you, if I ever date again, which I fully plan on doing,
Really?
hell yeah,
nice.
call me baby. It's going to be, in my mind, I already know what kindness means to me. And I know that it takes a long time to identify it. I know that's not something I'll be able to discover on the first few dates, but I know that that's what I'm looking for, which is an individual who puts others' needs and others' perspectives and feelings on the same level as their own. Not above, because that's nice,
Yeah.
and not below, because that's mean. On the equal footing.
Right. Thank you for
Does that
that.
answer your question?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so you like kindness above.
That is the
everything.
non-negotiable.
Okay. Of course, it's a non-negotiable for me. That's why I said the top three. I cannot, say I want one without the other two.
But that will also turn me on, kindness. And I don't think it does that for you. For example, the jury duty thing, the guy being a kind guy, he wasn't like particularly dashing. No offense if he finds this. I still want to date you, sir. But as the show progressed, I was more and more like, oh my God.
He was playing a character, right?
He didn't know. He didn't know he was on a show. And he didn't know.
Oh, this was a
It's
reality show?
yeah.
Yeah, it's his reality
With hidden
show.
cameras.
Oh, then go for it.
So he didn't know. Thank you. Yeah. So I was, this made my heart fill. It made me actually feel affectionate, tender feelings. So I think that's where we're different. It's
So-
not just a non-negotiable for me.
So let's say, and I never said I don't like kind or nice, kind people.
Yeah.
Right? Kindness is
Big
top
distinction.
3. But I can make a distinction between which one should, if I have to rank them, right? Because I played out in my head, is my personality type. What was it? It's not even FJ anymore.
INFP or something like that?
Something like that.
Or INPJ?
So I look at patterns. I look at things like that I've seen either in my previous relationships or with other people. And I make either assumptions or I form an opinion what's going to happen 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. And I think most people who are not me, and I'm one of the rarest personality types. Albert Einstein was one of them. I think Mark Cuban and someone else.
INFJ is more rare though.
Yeah,
Just saying.
maybe. But anyway,
It is, statistically.
Oh wow.
we don't know that.
No,
We
it
don't
says so on the website.
Well, you may be wrong. You may be wrong. All three are important to me, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you find a very kind person, which I would love to find a kind person. Maybe I have already. If I find this kind person and we're sitting down and we're talking about after the 3 months, 6 month stage is gone and the honeymoon phase is fizzling out, we have other things to sustain that relationship and that excitement. And I think intelligence is one of them. I think being driven is one of them. Having goals and ambitions outside of just like keeping everything, steady for the sake of not having any waves. I think that's would be one of the unhealthiest relationships, because there are people who want just kindness, and kindness will do for them because there's no waves. Everyone's like, the lake has no waves. There's no growth. There's going to be boredom.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Why do you think that kind people... I consider myself a kind person.
Oh, no, he was,
you
for
guys
example.
can call me on that. But I would still be like, hey, bitch, get your shit together.
Well,
I
for
will have a
example,
fight.
one of his examples was that, if he can find someone kind, can grow old with, there's not going to be any like waves. There's not going to be any turbulence. There's not going to be any, I'm here, why don't you come up here? Everyone's going to just be...
But you're both kind people and we fight all the time.
I'm talking
And there are a lot
about,
of waves and it's very
But
exciting.
I think dynamics between friends and or sister brothers or brothers are different than a complete stranger who wants to share a life with you. So in my opinion, humble or not, and I think it's actually
not.
truth for everyone, it's objective truth, is that people have to look at least 3 qualities to, and then they cannot be anything that is, the guy has to have money. That's not a quality I'm talking about. A personality or a intellectual thing, those things, 3 of them have to be there to make something go round, right? Because you've seen that they have those triangles that become wheels and they start rolling. That moves something forward. If it's just a one single point or a line,
Maybe it's a circle.
maybe the
And
more
it's one
things.
quality.
No, it can't be that. It's just a dot. So I think, in my opinion,
So it's a really
humble
big
or
dot.
not, no big dot. Okay, in my opinion, we have to have at least 3 points of like.
So what are your 3?
I 100% got it. My question and whole point was this: I wasn't
Who's
saying
number one,
I,
what's
I know
number
I
two?
didn't say you have to be a one-trick pony.
You're saying what's the door opener?
which is this is what you assume that I'm saying there's a one-trick pony and only one quality, you pick it and run with it for the rest of your life. I said no. I said yes, you have to have multiple qualities. But what opens a door for you? She was brave enough to say kindness. I'm brave enough to say kindness.
Just because you guys say kindness doesn't make it brave.
No, because you dance around the question. You don't pick one quality as a
can't.
door opener. As a door opener,
looks.
dude.
Looks would
okay.
be my door opener.
Good enough.
To be honest with you, like
Physical
I'm not
attraction.
I gotta be attracted to
Good.
that person.
How about on a personality level? What opens the door?
Yeah,
for
once
you?
that door is open, the looks.
Honestly, if they can like laugh at my jokes and we have a good sense of humor, like we can be
Okay, so
playful.
lighthearted
humor.
humor.
And that's
But-
not even in your top 3.
No, I said, but that can become like 4, 5, or 6. But for me, I can't say, oh, this person's kind, because as you said, kindness takes time for you to
Discover.
read
No,
and
and that's why
discover.
I asked this question, assuming everything will come later. You find out everything you want, and you dump them or you don't dump them. The door opener for you, physical is in one aspect is physical looks. The other personality trait would be somebody with a lightheartedness and a sense of humor as a starting point to go to the next date and say, okay, let me see
Starting
who they
point,
are.
yes.
And you,
Because you don't know the
you
person.
said kindness, right? Yeah.
If you're swiping right and left on pictures,
And you wouldn't know
you
if
can
you don't know
you
if
can
they're
assume
funny either.
you can assume that those pictures are touched up. You can assume that those things were written by
For,
someone
for,
else.
forget an app. Real life. You meet somebody after a few minutes.
If you meet
you want to
someone,
ask
it's
them out.
different because there's interaction,
Okay, let's go with that.
right? But you still don't know if they're kind. They could have kind eyes, a kind smile, but it doesn't mean that they're kind.
Actually, you know what? A part of me, I can tell that. I can tell if there's a kind soul inside of them. You can tell by their demeanor, by their eyes. You kind of can assume. I mean, it's assumption for the most part, but you can kind of tell.
So
I
you-
think you're the strongest of us 3 in that. I still have trouble seeing that myself. I'm getting better, but I
right.
still have trouble telling, like just seeing a kind face. Or kind
I remember one time my brother was dating someone, and this was over 20 years ago. And what's that?
We're
That's your watch?
running. We're running out of time.
Yeah.
We're running out of time. Wrap.
Okay. Hey.
But soon, but not immediately.
Yeah.
Well, not
he
now.
was saying, this person, this and that and that. When I met them, they were kind and they were smiling at me. And my mom made a comment like, "What do you want them to like take a shit on your head and like frown at you?" Like the first time you see someone, they're not gonna like put out their worst qualities. They're gonna put out their best qualities. So you may have like, oh, she's smiling, she's kind, she does this, she's submissive, all that stuff that some people like. I don't. You probably don't. But you get that. You're like, oh, there must be a kind person because they smiled at me and they served me my water first. Now, that same scenario in 2 years from now when you're married, she's like, go get your own water. What are you, like, paraplegic? That could happen. So we can tell a kindness right off the bat.
Okay. To put a cherry on top, my door opener would be a kind face.
You don't want a kind face. Okay.
You can tell, the shape of the eyebrow matters. A bunch of things you can tell. How they look at you, whether it's like, or whether it's like, oh, hey, how's it going? You can kind of tell which way they lean, at least. Of course, you have to know them really well before you make a determination. But to me, knowing that there's a little bit of some traits of kindness, at least in their demeanor, is a door opener for me. I could care less at that moment how intellectual or driven they are. I will find that out later, and that will determine whether I want to be with them or not. But that will open the door for me initially.
And you?
Same.
Goodness. Woo! Well, listen.
We can't all be the same, though.
We can't all be the same.
No, we can't. We need diversity in
but
this
you know
world.
I'm
That's why
right.
I'm sitting in this chair and you two are over there.
Yep,
Because
because you're a fearless leader.
one of me equals at least
At least.
two of you.
Yep. We're just the bumble heads.
No pun intended. Right?
Just the like, oh, kindness.
I'm the hinge one. Kindness.
And you're like the sharp intellectual. It's all about the smarts. It's all about the brain. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't say that.
I know you didn't say it explicitly, but if anyone who's listens, they're going to realize that that's what you've been saying the whole time. And that's okay. That's okay.
Smarts also means being aware of what traits you need to work on.
Yeah.
Just a door opener, bro.
But you know what I think? I think after 53 minutes of this conversation, I've come to a conclusion. I think that actually intelligence and kindness are the same trait, because to not be kind is a dumb move. You cannot succeed in this life and not be kind. You're probably intellectually lacking if you haven't prioritized kindness. And if you are a kind person, you're very smart, because that's a self-protective way of existing in this world. If you're kind, you're going to attract other kind people and sow good karma. So ultimately, maybe intelligence and kindness are the same trait, as long as they're both coexisting. And maybe we've been fighting over nothing.
Well, great. Then let's turn this off and
Let's see you
have some
guys
pizza.
later. Bye.
All right.
Triple Shot Mindset.